It's time for a new episode of TMG.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to TMG. I'm your host, Travis Patton Sr. I enjoy discovering and sharing real-life moments of inspiration from everyday people. And this show is about finding moments of inspiration for our everyday lives. And look, and if you're going to tell me something, then tell me something good.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of TMG. I'm your host, Travis Patton Sr. Hey, guys, real quick, don't forget to visit our YouTube page. That's Tell Me Something Good with the capital T. And as always, guys, before we get started, before we jump into it, before we go with it, I got to give a huge shout out to my biggest supporter, my biggest fan, my lovely wife, Nicole. Hey, girl, how you doing? I know you're watching. I know you're listening. Man, listen, in a very short time, this show has really taken off. And it's being heard in places all around the globe. Yeah, it is, guys. It's being heard everywhere. I mean, places like in Egypt and Thailand, in Switzerland, in Ireland, in the Great Britain, and Canada. I am so glad that you're tuning in to the show. And maybe, just maybe, this is your first time tuning in. Your very first time listening to the show. Let me tell you, thank you for joining the show. Whether someone told you about it or by accident you found us and you're hearing my voice, let me tell you, thank you so much for being part of the show. And maybe you said, whoa, Travis, pump your brakes, man. I've been listening to your show for the 3 years you've been streaming. Let me tell you, thank you very much for tuning into the show today. I'm so glad you are here. And you tuned into a great show, a great episode, guys. Listen, I'm going to say a few things, get some stuff out the way, and we're going to get started. Guys, everybody knows this show is all about finding moments of inspiration with everyday people like you and with me. So if you have an inspiring story that you would like to share and maybe come on a show, guys, drop us a line. The email address is right there on your screen. It's tellmesomething21@gmail.com. And maybe you said, Travis, man, I'm a little camera shy. I don't really want to come on a show, but I know someone who has a story, an amazing story that would be really great to share. If you do, send us an email, their contact information, and we will contact them. You can even remain anonymous if you would like. How about that? We won't even put your name out there. We won't even put your own blast. We won't do none of that. But if you do have someone in mind, let us know. Drop us a line, guys. Guys, TMG has a couple of really great affiliate sponsors. So I'm going to go ahead and play that sponsorship information, get that out the way. When we come back, it's going to be on, because this episode, it's good. This is one you don't want to miss. Right back.
Walmart is a proud associate sponsor of TMG Tell Me Something Good podcast. Please use the special link bit.ly/Tell Me Something Good and visit our sponsor. Remember, I may earn a commission when you buy through this link. Fanatics is the place to go for all of your officially licensed sports gear from your favorite sports and sports teams. Use the special link bit.ly/Tell Me Something 21 and pay a visit to our sponsor today. Remember, I may earn a commission when you buy through this link. And by Mint Mobile. Sign up and find the cellular plan that's right for you. Use the special link bit.ly/tellmesomethingmint and visit our sponsor. Remember, I may earn a commission when you buy through this link.
There it is, guys. Our affiliate sponsors. The special links will be in the chat. Do me a favor, guys. Please visit our affiliate sponsors. Thank you very much. Guys, if you did not get a chance to catch the title of today's episode, guys, today's episode is I Got Next. Yeah, I got next. I know you want to know where I'm going with this. I know your mind is already wondering, but guys, you don't have to wonder long. I got next. I thought about today's episode, guys. I was watching an old football game and an old basketball game, and my mind began to wander back when I was a kid. And how many of you remember being a kid and you go to the playground at a certain time of the day, and they call that certain time of day, they either called it recess or they called it PE. Now, when you were in elementary school, they either called it recess. Sometimes you get older, they would call it PE. But how many can remember being young and when you went outside to play at a specific time of the day, it was called recess? You remember going outside and having PE? Remember you had to dress out for PE? You literally had to have a specific pair of short pants and shirt just for PE. And PE stood for physical education. You went out and you ran and you played, you did exercise. You actually did some physical exercise, and you had to have that, and it was a requirement. And either you did PE or you took band, but it was some kind of physical thing that you had to do. If you remember PE or recess, just wave your hand in chat, put it in chat, say, I remember too. I remember that, man. There was absolutely nothing. Listen, there was nothing like recess in school, right? There was nothing like recess during school when I was a kid. I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, I did my homework. Yes, I did my stuff. But I'm going to be honest with you. Like any other kid, man, I lived for recess. It was absolutely crazy. I loved it. Getting out there with your friends, running around, making new friends. But I loved it. There was absolutely nothing like recess in school when I was a kid. I mean, really, when you think about it, recess was more than just expected as a kid. I mean, when you went to school, be honest. When you went to school, recess wasn't just something that you expected to have every day. I did. It was part of my expectation. Go to school, do some work, do lunch, and do some more work, and then recess. Yeah, it was an expectation. I mean, you had to have it. There was no way around it. I needed my recess. It was more than just something that was expected as a kid. To kids everywhere, it was more like to kids everywhere growing up, we felt like it was our constitutional right as a kid. I did, man. We felt like recess was more of our constitutional right. Before we knew what the Constitution was, we believed somewhere in the Constitution they wrote kids must have recess every day. I did. We felt like it was our right as a kid. I mean, one of the worst things you could ever tell a kid at that time was there was either no recess or PE was called off. Man, I mean, you tell a kid you can't go outside and play, you can't go do this, man, one of the worst things you could ever do to a kid at that time was tell them there was no recess or it was called off and there's no PE today. Even if there was an assembly, a special program, we still wanted recess. We still wanted to go outside. At least we did. The kids I went to school with, we did. We valued our recess a lot. So one of the worst things you could do is tell a kid there's no recess, there's no PE, you can't go outside, there's no ball playing today, there's no running, there's no jump rope, there's no running track, there's no softball, there's no hanging out with your friends, there's no go sitting down, there's no playing marble, there's no none of that. You can't do any of that today. One of the worst things you could tell a kid is there's no recess. I mean, it was one of the horrible things. And as kids, we already had things we had to adhere to, right? So you're already telling me there's no recess. And then you think about this, we already had things that we had to adhere to. Think about it. As kids, we already had bedtime, homework time, and time for chores. But recess, man. Listen, but recess was supposed to be our time. It was our time. I mean, the teachers got a break from the kids, and the kids, well, they got a chance to show what they were made of. Listen, everybody knows I love a good story, right? If you know me and you've been listening to the show, you know I love a good story. I like the plot twists and turns. I like the things that happen in between, because somewhere between the beginning of the story and the end of the story, things can happen that can change the outcome of the story. That's why I love a good story, because sometimes, regardless of how a story begins, the things that happen in the middle can always determine a different outcome. I'm not going to start. Recess, guys, was made for children. It was made for children. You had all of the favorite games, guys. And I'm going to tell a good story here about me in a minute. But recess, man, was made for kids, made for children, right? You had all of your favorite games happening all at one time. All of your favorite games were taking place all at one time. All of your favorite games, think of some of your favorite games you played. Come on, type some of your favorite games that you enjoy playing during recess or PE. What are some of your favorite games? Go ahead, begin to type it in chat and share it so somebody else can see it. Yeah, there it is right there. Yeah, there you go. But you had all of your favorite games. Things like, let's say, kickball, right? Kickball. Yeah, kickball. You could run until your side began hurting. If you were running track or just running around. So you could run until your side began hurting. While the breeze in the air cooled you down, the playground would be littered, absolutely littered with children who were eager to play as many games as possible before it was time to go back inside. Let me ask this question, guys. Let me ask this question to everybody. I already alluded to it, so I gotta ask you again. What was your favorite childhood game or things that you enjoyed playing? Come on. Tell the truth. What was some of your favorite childhood games or things to do that you enjoyed playing or doing during the recess, or as we call it here in the South as PE? What was some of your favorite? Come on, let's hear it. Okay. So we knew everybody had a lot of different things. Like see, all the different things coming in. Everybody had a lot of different things they enjoyed doing. All their favorite games all at one time and in one place. So absolutely. Mine were the swings and the merry-go-round. Yeah, I was a bit of a daredevil. Still am a little bit. Still am. I used to like to swing really high in the swing, as high as I could, and then jump out. like really high, and so high, and then just jump out. Yeah, I enjoy, or getting on the merry-go-round, and then someone spinning it as fast as they could, and then you jump off the merry-go-round, or you get off and you're still dizzy and you can barely stand, and you still, everything's just spinning. I did, man. I was a bit of a daredevil. Mine was a swing and the merry-go-round. Kids, however, would play everything from tag to Simon Says to marbles. There would be foot races for playground superiority. Yeah, if you came on our playground during recess or PE, it was not uncommon to see people racing, to see children racing and running for bragging rights, so they could say, I am the fastest during recess. So you would have these races going on back and forth for playground superiority. But if you were lucky, man, and the fate favored you, but if you were lucky, you got a chance at playing basketball with the cool kids. And I don't care where you are, what part of the country you're from, the playground always had those cool kids. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody wanted to hang around with them. Everybody wanted to be with them or be like them. If you got a chance and you got lucky, everybody wanted to either play basketball or whatever sport or whatever game that they were playing at the time. Everybody wanted to hang out and play with the cool kids. I wasn't one of them. My disclosure, I wasn't one of them. I wasn't one of the cool kids, okay? I knew lots of them, but I wasn't one of them. So, and what they would do when they got ready to select teams, right? When they got ready to select their teams, we all would stand, and we would stand there all kind of huddled together, waiting to be chosen by our prospective team captains, right? And it was always the cool people who were the team captains. I don't know how that felt, but always the cool people were the team captains. So as we would wait to be selected by our prospective, hopefully our prospective team captains, we all stood there huddled, waiting to be chosen. And we all stood there with the eagerness of children on Christmas Eve, waiting anxiously on Christmas morning with the anticipation and the hopeful thrill of the unexpected. I knew kids who would have traded their dessert at lunch for a week just to hear someone else choose their name. I knew kids who would trade their entire lunch for a week just for an opportunity to hear somebody call their name. I'm not kidding, man. And I mean, guys, it was serious. It was that serious. I mean, only so many could play, right? So everybody be hoping that someone would call their name, but I mean, only so many could play at one time, right? Only so many could play the game at one time. So there were lots of times I wasn't chosen. There were lots of times my name wasn't called. There were lots of times when we would line up and wait to hear our names called, and I would stand there on pins and needles like every other person, hoping that this would be the time someone would say, I got Travis. Now, don't get me wrong. I would get selected sometimes, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I would get selected sometimes. There were some times when their first choice was either absent that day or just could not participate in recess, so I was selected by the, but kind of by default. We'll take you. Got nobody else, we'll just take you. We got nobody else to choose, so I guess we're stuck with you. That kind of thing. So I would get selected. And that's just because either somebody wasn't there or they could participate in recess. So now, I wasn't always the most, here's a disclaimer. I gotta say this, guys. Now, I wasn't always the most skilled player. Okay? Let me put that out there. Maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe me getting my skills up, maybe me getting my talent up, maybe me working on me had something to do with it. I don't know. But I wasn't always a skilled player. But I was just as determined and tried just as hard as anyone else. I gave it everything I got, and when I didn't have anything else, I gave it everything I had left. I did. I gave it everything I got, and when there was nothing else to give, I gave it everything that I had left. I did, man. Let me ask you guys a question. What was the last time you hoped for something and it did not turn out the way that you expected? Huh? How did that make you feel? And more importantly, what did you do? What did you do when all you could do was stand there and watch someone else do what you knew you could do? What did you do when you weren't their selection and you were overlooked as if you didn't even exist? What do you do when you knew you could do what you saw somebody else do, and they selected somebody else over you as if you weren't even standing there, as if your name wasn't even thrown in the mix? What did you do? Let me ask, what do you do when your hope does not line up with your reality? And I get it. I stood there. I was hoping, like all the other children, I stood there and I was hoping my name would be called. Sometimes it wasn't. I stood there each recess and I hoped that this would be the recess. This is it. And I go up there all excited. Yeah, I got it. They're going to call my name this time. And they would not. What do you do when your hope does not line up with your reality? I hoped that I would be chosen, but the reality is sometimes, and a lot of times, I wasn't. I hoped they would call my name each time, but the reality was that sometimes they didn't. And maybe, just maybe, some of us have hoped things would look differently for us by now. But the reality is some of it doesn't. Some of it just does not. We hope to be further in our career. We hope that some things would not have ended the way that they did. How do you face life when what you hope and what you see are not the same things? How do you face life when what you hope and what you see are not on the same page? But here's a better question. How do you face yourself when what you hope and what you see are not the same? Because it's easier to face another person than it is facing yourself. Come on. It's a lot easier when you can face somebody else than it is to face yourself. If you have to face down 100 people, man, it's easier to face down that 100 people than it is to face yourself. You know what I mean? Because it's much easier because you can always block them on social media. You can always block their phone number or not reply to a text message. But you have to deal with yourself 24/7. How can you face yourself when hope and reality are not on the same page? How, man? It's tough. Forget trying to figure out how to face them. I'm trying to worry about how to face myself. Forget trying to deal with the things they say about you when you're trying to fight with the things that you say about yourself. How can you handle the things you say to yourself, the words that are coming out of your own mouth? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And listen, when I wanted to play, when I was stood there hoping that they would call my name, I wasn't asking to be a team captain. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't asking to make any other decisions. All I was asking for was a chance. And that's how some of us are. A lot of times, we're not asking to be team captains. We're not asking to be in charge. All we're saying is, give me a shot. And a lot of people right now are dealing with some situations because all they ever wanted was a shot. All you ever wanted was a chance. I would have gone differently had I just had a shot. Have there ever been real moments? I mean, come on, be honest with me, guys. Have there ever been real moments for you when even though your expectations were very high, somewhere in the back of your mind, you still said the words, I hope so. I remember I told you I would go out to recess every day. And my expectation was, okay, today they're going to choose me. Today they're going to choose me. Today they're going to call my name. Today they're going to call me. And my expectations, like any child, would be high. I would be excited. I'd be running the first one there. First one get the ball. First one ready. And I have all these high expectations. Have you ever had all these high expectations and all these high hopes, but somewhere in the back of your mind, you could still hear the words, I hope so. And that question would pop up, I hope so. Maybe there was some event that occurred, right? Maybe there was some event that occurred, and even though our expectations were high, that it would turn out in our favor, even though our expectations were high, that it would be favorable, we still could not escape the words, I hope so. And I get it, man. I get it. Your life is human. It would happen. And we still found ourselves hearing the words, I hope so. I hope they call me about the job. I hope that things work out better this time. I hope the relationship ends up better than the last one. I hope I don't lose it this time. I hope it works. I hope so. I know, I get it, guys. So back to the story. I don't want to lose it. Back to the story. So as things would play out, me and another group of my friends would decide to go and play elsewhere, right? We would just decide to go and play elsewhere. And the irony of things was we would go play the same game. Yeah, we would go play the same game that we weren't selected for. we would go grab a ball and go play the same things that we weren't chosen for. We would go to play the same games that no one selected us to do. We would go play the same game. Be honest, guys. Be honest with me. Because you know, like, I'm transparent with you. So be transparent with me here, okay? Be honest with me, guys, all right? Be honest. Have you ever been bothered by seeing someone else handed an opportunity that you would almost fight for? Now, me and my friends would go play the same game that other people, other kids were chosen, picked. Oh, yeah, we got you. They were hand-picked, hand-chosen. No matter what was going on, they were going to be chosen. Has it ever, be honest, man, because with me it did. It did. Have you ever been bothered by seeing someone else handed an opportunity that you would almost fight for? And when you see them in the opportunity, they halfway don't want to do it. They halfway don't want to be there. All the while, you are thinking, I just need a chance. You halfway don't want to do this, and all I need is a chance. You don't even want to show up to work on time. And how did you get a promotion and you can't even show up to work on time? You halfway know the work, halfway know the job, halfway like dealing with people, and you got an opportunity. I know, man. It's helping me too. You see people handed opportunities and they halfway want to be there. They halfway want to do it. They end up with happy people and they halfway want to be in a relationship. How you halfway want to be in something? I mean, so we would just be like, have you ever been that way? I know I have, man. I have. And so there was a group of us, right? A group of about 6 of us kids who already knew we would not be chosen first. So a lot of times we would automatically go play amongst ourselves, and we would play together each day at recess. So at recess each day we would play because history had already shown us that we wouldn't be the first selected. We wouldn't be selected. So history had already shown us that we wouldn't be selected. That's what history has shown us. History has shown us we weren't going to be selected like that. So we decided we would go play amongst ourselves. History, guys, history can be like a video or a song that you place on repeat. It will continue to loop the same video and the same song no matter how many more songs are available or how many more videos there are to see. History will only allow us to see what we give it permission to repeat. Yeah, and listen, and I'm going to date myself with this. I remember back in the day, there was a time when you had to pay for minutes on a cell phone. If you wanted to use a cell phone, you had to pay for minutes that you used on a cell phone. Most things I think are unlimited now. I know you still have to pay sometimes, but most things are unlimited now. But there was a time when you had to pay for the minutes used on a cell phone. And when you used all those minutes up, when you used up all of those minutes, you either had to purchase more minutes or wait until you could. So I remember there was a funny video I was watching on my cell phone. I did. I remember before I had unlimited, now everything you had minutes, you had to prepay for minutes. So I remember there was a funny video that I was watching on my cell phone. And I continued to play the video over and over and over and over. I kept playing it. It would end, and I keep playing it back. It would end, and I hit play again. I keep hitting play. I kept hitting play. But I wasn't being mindful of the minutes that I was using until the video wouldn't play anymore. Because I had used up all of my minutes. I don't know how many minutes are we going to continue to use replaying the same things over and over again. After everything that you had to face in your life, you have been put on hold long enough. You can't afford to waste another minute. Put this in chat. You know that I'm a firm believer in positive confession. Begin to put this in chat. I'm not wasting another minute. Yeah. I'm not wasting another minute replaying the same thing. I'm not wasting another minute replaying the same scenario. Put it in chat. Say it to yourself. Wake up tomorrow and say it. Say it right now. If you have to, text it to yourself. I'm not wasting another minute. You've wasted enough minutes replaying the same thing. I'm not wasting another minute. They can remember it. They can bring it up. They can talk about it. They can write about it. They can hit me up in my DMs. But I'm not wasting another minute. So back to the story. I don't want to get carried away. So because of history, I wouldn't even stand in line and wait to be chosen. So because of history, I wouldn't even stand in line and wait for them to overlook me. I'm not finna do it. Because of history, I wouldn't even stand in line and give them a chance to overlook me. I'm not finna do. I'm not finna stand here and let you embarrass me again. I'm not gonna let this kind of embarrassment I'm not me. I got way too much dignity. I'm not gonna do it. So because of history, I wouldn't even stand in line and wait for them to overlook me. My other friends and I would go on the other end and play. We kept doing this. Guys, listen. We kept doing this. We kept doing this each time we went out for recess or for PE. We would grab a ball and go play. We just go grab a ball, we go play. We just grab a ball and go play. We kept doing this. And we just kept on doing this. Sooner or later, it no longer became a focal point for us to be accepted by the other children, by the other people. And I remember one of my friends, his name was Kevin. I'll never forget Kevin. Kevin said this to me, man. He said, we're all playing the same game. Does it really matter if you are playing with them or with us? I never forget that, man. He said, what difference does it make who you're playing with? You're playing the same game. Why is it so important that you either play with them? What difference does it make? The ball bounces the same. It's going in the same kind of hoop. You're doing the same amount of running. What difference does it make if they accept you down on the other end or not? You're breathing just like they are. You got blood in your veins just like they do. You're trying to make it just like they're trying to make it. What difference does it make if you live on a specific side of town or if you graduated from a certain school? You're trying to make it just like they are. Every person. So I learned this. person isn't for you. Every person is not meant to be part of your team. And listen, here was the six of us. We were the six of us, and we made our own team. We formed our own group. We had our own collage. We had our own people. We had our own community. And that taught me this, that every person isn't for you. Every person is not meant to be part of your team. And you are not meant to be a part of everyone's team either. Find your team. If you cannot be a part of the team that you wanted, then create the team that you need. Yeah, let me say that again. That's worth repeating. If you cannot be a part of the team that you wanted, then create the team that you need. But find your team. And there were six of us individuals, that if you saw us walking down the hall, you would have no idea that we're part of the same team. If you saw us in the classroom, you would have no idea that we were part of the same team. If we went to our individual homes, you would have no idea that we were part of the same team. Find your team. Find them. Find where you belong. There were six of us, and we all looked differently. Chances are the team that you really belong to don't really look anything like you. We're trying to fit in with everything that looks like us, that sounds like us, that walks like us, that has the same pedigree and background like us. But chances are, baby, your team doesn't look anything like you. Don't look nothing like you. Chances are the team that you really belong to don't really look anything like you. They don't have the same background as you. They don't sound the same as you do. Everything that looks like us isn't made for us. Yeah. We limit ourselves when we want everything to look and sound like us. Well, if it don't look like me, then it's not for me. It's got to look like, sound like my culture. It's got to be, baby, it don't need to look like where I came from. It just needs to be effective. It just needs to work. It just needs to accept me. It may not look like me. And the chances are everything that look like us is not for us. It's not made for us. Do not spend all of your energy and waste your time trying to force people to accept you. Accept yourself. Because when we spend all of our energy trying to get someone to accept us, we are missing out on those who have been waiting on us. Yeah, waiting on us. You didn't know somebody has been waiting on you? What? You didn't know that there was a group of people just waiting for somebody like you? What? You didn't know that there was a future waiting on you? You didn't know that there was a destiny waiting for somebody just like you? How many people listening right now, man, how many listening have known for a long time that you are worth the wait? Yeah. Put it in chat. Say it out loud. Say it to yourself. I heard my teacher, my mentor, my pastor, Apostle Stephen Davis say this. He said, we are voice activated. Activate yourself and just say, I'm worth the wait. Yeah, I'm worth the wait. I'm worth it. I'm worth the wait. I was worth it all along. When you didn't like me, I was worth it. When you overlooked me, I was worth it. When you said I was nothing, I was worth it. You are worth the wait. Put it in chat. Say it to yourself. I'm worth the wait. Instead of you chasing after them, they should have been chasing after you. They should have been trying to catch up to you instead of you tracking them down on social media. Listen, just listen to see what they posted last. They should have been trying to track you down because you're worth the wait. Yeah, you're worth the wait. Listen, let me show you. I'm getting ready to close out, guys. We're getting ready to get out of here. Let me show you something. Let me show you how life plays out. Let me show you why you giving up right now might cost you. Let me show you why you have to let life play out. One day, real quick, guys, one day, the friends I usually play with weren't there. My team wasn't there. And just so happened, one of the other kids who usually gets selected was also out. So they looked around and they came to me and asked me if I wanted to play with them. Well, my team wasn't there, so I said, yeah. He said, if you want to play, you have to come up here and let them know that you came to play. So I walked over to the other team. So I walked up to the other people. As I walked over, everyone had all of their eyes were on me. I could see the puzzled looks on their faces because I typically don't fit their team. I typically am not part of their team. I could see the puzzled looks on their faces because they didn't know what to expect out of me. Because they didn't know what I really had, what I was all about. So I could see the puzzled looks on their faces. Listen, there will always be those who question your potential. But don't you ever question your potential. Don't allow the decision of others who did not choose you to interfere with the choice of you choosing yourself. I walked up to them ready to play. I came ready. I was ready. They had no idea, but I was ready. And I played. Yeah, I played. I didn't score all the points, but I played. Yeah, there was no big celebration, but I played. And each one of them knew that day that I came to play. Listen, forget about who didn't let you play and just play. I did not, in that moment, I did not stop and say, well, you never let me play before, so why should I? No. I did not care about what you did not let me do before because this was my time. This was my moment. I couldn't stop and be worried about all the times they didn't choose me, all the times they did not select me. Oh, no. This time, I came to play. Forget about who did not let you play and just play. Move past who didn't accept you and play. Forget about the job you didn't get or the promotion you didn't get or the car you couldn't afford or what you didn't work out and play. Listen, it's difficult to hold a grudge and your future at the same time. So let that go and let them know what you're made of. I didn't come here so you could look at me. I came to show you what I'm made of. Because each time they rejected you, you got to work on yourself. I told you I wasn't the best skilled player, but you kept rejecting me and I kept getting with my team. I told you I wasn't that coordinated, but I got with my team and I worked on myself. I told you I wasn't the best, but I got with my team and I worked on myself. Each time you rejected me, you got to work on yourself. Each time no one else chose you, decide to choose yourself. Listen, there is this term they throw around a lot called a bench warmer. It's a person who doesn't get to play much, a person that isn't chosen often, a person who is mostly watches from the sidelines. They are the reserves. They're the reserves. Listen, let me just say this. Where are all my bench warmers at? I want to talk to all the bench warmers and to all the excluded and the misfits and couldn't get into the game folks. All the ones who was mismatching, odd shaped. I want to talk. I came for the bench warmers. They didn't know that there was something great inside of you all along. They didn't know that each time they denied you, it was making you better. They didn't know the reserve that you got in you. I came to empty the benches today. I came to empty the benches. I came for everybody who realizes there's something more to you, who says to themselves every morning when they get up, I don't know what it is, but there's something else for me in life. Maybe I'm here for each person that won't quit because they're in a wheelchair or confined to a bed or not living in the best of conditions. Maybe I'm here for the poor decision makers and the overthinkers. Maybe you don't know, maybe you don't sound like the others. What I mean is maybe there was something wrong with your speech. Or maybe you're saying maybe you had a stutter and every time you tried to get it out, you had it was a stutter kept coming out. So maybe you knew what you wanted to say, but you never could put it into words. Listen. So when you opened your mouth, you didn't sound like everybody else, but you still stood there and you saw everyone else go ahead of you. You saw everybody else do it and you knew you could also. They had no idea the reserves you got in you. Listen, you might not have been able to say much, to do much about it, but there are 3 words you need to repeat to yourself and begin believing about yourself. There's 3 words you need to learn that you need to say to yourself every day you wake up, every day it gets tough, every day you feel like calling it quits. The 3 words you need to say is, I got next. Put it in chat. Yeah, I got next. I know it's been difficult. Yes, it's been hard. I told you every day we went out to recess. We was consistent. We worked on ourselves. We didn't let grudges hold us back. We didn't let jealousy hold us back. You can't hold jealousy or grudge in your future at the same time. There's 3 words you need to learn. I got next. Listen. All this time, you probably thought we were discussing others accepting you. We were never discussing you being accepted by somebody else. We were discussing you accepting you. Because until you accept yourself, flaws and all, short hair, no hair, tall, short, skinny, fat, until you accept yourself, you will never know that you are next. You will never know there's greatness inside of you. You will never know when your time has come. Listen, they ain't got to like you. They ain't got to support you, but you are next. Guys, it's about that time. And as always, it's been a real blast. Don't forget to visit our YouTube page. That's Tell Me Something Good with the capital T. And don't forget to tune in right here each Thursday at a new time, 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, guys, to listen to the show. Guys, you can stream your favorite episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and so many more. Guys, I gotta get out of here. It's been an absolute blast. And as always, before I get out of here, as always, if you're gonna tell me something, then tell me something good. I'm out of here. I gotta go. Peace. Guys, it's been good.